Minecraft raids are the most terrifying and deadly events in the game. Those infinite waves of Ravengers crashing through the village, Vindicators with iron axes that deal an insane damage, and of course, the deadliest mob of them all, the one that cost me thousands of swords enchanted with looting 5 on my farm, the Vex. This almost seems ironic, yeah, cause raids were supposed to be Minecraft's big endgame challenge, but instead they turned into one of the most broken, farmable, frankly disappointing mechanics in the entire game. Today, we're going to break down exactly what went wrong with raids, why players stopped treating them seriously, and how could they actually be fixed. So, let's get straight into it. Let's start with the most obvious. The Totems of Undying. They were supposed to be one of the Minecraft's most powerful items, something rare and something you would treasure. But raids completely destroyed the balance. Right now, evokers spawn in multiple waves, which means you end up swimming in totems. Within an hour of farming, you can stockpile dozens. And when something that's supposed to save your life becomes as common as dirt, it loses all its meaning. So how do you fix this? The solution is simple. Just make evokers feel like true bosses. Instead of showing up in random waves, they should appear only in the very last one or two of them maximum. The final encounter becomes the climax of the raid, where you know that you're facing the strongest illager, and when they die, they don't make totems a guaranteed drop. Instead, they give a 50 to 70% chance, and suddenly, totems are rare again. There's something you value, and when you don't get one, imagine if they drop something else like a new artifact, maybe an item that summons Vex bodyguards like in Minecraft dungeons, but that's just too far. And that way, raids feel fresh and rewarding, not just a totem factory. But limiting of how often they appear is only one part of the solution, because here's the truth, evokers right now are kind of pathetic. They don't take much to kill, and half the time they don't even get to summon anything before they're dead. For a mob that's supposed to be the illager's greatest weapon, that is just kind of sad. And the only fix to this issue is again, making evokers feel like mini bosses. Give them more health, something like 50 hearts so they just don't melt instantly, and spice up their magic. Instead of the same old fang attack, imagine a circle of waves of fangs that spread across the ground, forcing you to dodge instead of standing still. Imagine them putting up a temporary magical shields that make you change tactics, and fighting an evoker should feel like fighting an actual sorcerer, not a villager in a fancy robe with a stage fright. And this ties right back to totems, because if evokers were stronger, then finally earning that totem again feels like an accomplishment instead of an afterthought. Even if evokers were fixed, there is still another issue. Raids just aren't overwhelming enough. For something that's supposed to feel like a village under siege, the pacing feels kinda weird. You clear a small wave, then you stand around waiting for the next half the time, and you're just walking around the village trying to find the last villager who got stuck in the one cave. It completely kills the tension. But what if waves were just a little bit bigger? Add 30% of more mobs per wave would already make raids feel chaotic and alive. And suddenly, villagers are running everywhere, golems are throwing illagers around, and you're sprinting across rooftops just trying to keep up. The atmosphere shifts from, oh, here comes another round, to, oh, I might not survive this. And that's the point. Raid should feel like survival and not housekeeping. And here's the best part. You wouldn't even need to add an entirely new mobs for this to work, just scale the intensity. Bigger groups, tighter pacing, more pressure. That would make raid feel like an actual raid. Of course, even if raids were bigger, they would still feel kind of repetitive after a while, because no matter where you are in the world, they all play out the same way. Plains raid, Snowy Mountains raid, Desert raid, it's all the same mobs, the same tactics, the same rewards, and that kills the replayability. So let's shake it up. Raids should now adapt to the biome you're in. The plain villagers should stick to the classic pillager and vindicators. But what if snowy biomes had frost-themed illagers that slowed you down with attacks? Mountain raids could feature climbers that leap at you or shove you off cliffs. Desert raids might have fire-wielding illagers resistant to burning. Each biome would bring its own twist, which means every raid feels different. And here's why that matters. Minecraft is a game about exploration. If raids tie into biomes, suddenly where you live becomes a strategic choice. Plains are easier, but maybe deserts give better loot. Snowy raids are brutal, yeah, but they drop unique frost gear, or maybe even a wind charge. Players would actually care about where they set up their base, not just for aesthetics, but for the gameplay itself. But raids don't exist in isolation. They're part of a bigger Illager ecosystem, and right now, that ecosystem is kind of embarrassing. Take Pillager Outpost for example. It is just a wooden tower with a chest full of wheat and arrows, and there is no reason to raid one unless you're specifically hunting for bad omen. And mansions? Yeah, they're massive, but most of the rooms are empty, and once you've seen one, you've basically seen them all. If raids are going to matter, these structures need to matter too. Outposts should feel like fortified bases, multiple towers, patrols, maybe even fences with captured villagers inside. Mansions should start to feel like actual fortresses and not abandoned hotels. Perhaps more unique rooms, more hidden threats, and more reasons to go inside instead of just ignoring them forever. And here is the really exciting part. Raids could actually be connected to these structures. Just imagine if raiding an outpost made Illagers more aggressive towards your village. Imagine if clearing a mansion made fewer raids for a while because you just crippled their leadership. Suddenly, raids wouldn't feel like random events, they would feel like the Illagers are fighting back in the living world. Now, finally, let's talk about rewards, because here's the truth. Raids just don't give you anything worth the effort. Totems are overfarmed just like the emeralds. In Hero of the Village, yeah, it's cute, but it's forgettable. There's no reason to do a raid once you've built a farm, so let's fix that. First, scale loot to the level of bad omen you triggered the raid with. A level 1 raid gives you basics, but a level 5 raid, now you're in a dangerous territory, and loot reflects it. And second, tie loot to biomes. Snowy raids could drop ice staffs, mountain raids could drop wind shards, and desert raids could drop some fire items. And combined with the new abilities of evokers that would just not let you farm them AFK, this would make raids infinitely far more exciting, because suddenly they are a source of rare, unique items you can't get anywhere else. Instead of just ignoring them, players would actively seek them out, and with loot scaling to risk, it finally feels fair. If you want the best items, you've gotta face the deadliest raids. Okay, so let's put it all together. Raids that don't drown you in totems, but make everyone feel valuable. Evokers that actually fight like bosses, not weaklings. Waves that are bigger, scarier, and more chaotic. Raids that change depending on your biome, keeping every battle fresh. Illager structures that feel like real strongholds, tying the whole system together, and loot that makes the risk truly worth it, scaling with bad omen level and biome variety. And that's the raid system Minecraft deserves to have. Something terrifying, something rewarding, and endlessly replayable. Right now, the raids are broken, they're farms and not fights, but with these changes, they could be one of the best parts of the game. And hey, if you agree with me, please let me know. Click the like button, drop a comment, and subscribe for more videos like this. And oh yeah, join the Discord. We're building a whole community that actually cares about making Minecraft better. Maybe someday Mojang would finally hear us.